Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing today. Another banger for you guys, man. I brought in the owner of the gym that I go to. Dude, this gym is the best gym I ever been to be quite honest, man. His name is none other than Alex. What up, Alex?
Hector Bravo, unhinged. Chaos is now in session.
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
Thanks for coming in, dude. So yeah, bro, your gym is the shit, man. And we're gonna go into how all of this came about, bro.
Okay. Didn't start off easy. You know what I mean? Like It's been a long time coming. First and foremost, thank you for being a member of my gym. You know, thank you for giving us a shot. A little background, or a little from the starting point. My first brick and mortar, my first location was established in 2010.
2010. Yeah. And we're currently 2026. And you said you're a California or a San Diego native, Chula Vista.
Yeah, specifically Chula Vista. I went to Eastlake High School, which is 2 minutes away from where my gym is now.
You went to Eastlake High School?
Yeah, I went to Eastlake.
No way, bro.
Yeah.
That's right there, dude. Because I didn't think that Otay or Eastlake was that. I thought it was a newer community.
It was. I think when I got there, I was probably one of the newest freshmen there. I mean, there was probably like the 2 classes before me. So, I mean, yeah, I started it I was there from the beginning.
Oh,
so I've seen it built over time. I went to Eastlake Elementary. I went to Bonita Middle because Eastlake Middle School wasn't made at that time. It wasn't established at that time. And then from there, I went to Eastlake High School.
That makes this story that much better, bro, because not only are you from there, you watched it grow, you actually have, and I'm going to say this, the best freaking gym, bro. And I'm not here just kissing your ass because I want the crowd to understand, oh, dude.
Thank you, bro.
Everything that is involved in it, bro. Yeah. And the equipment.
Equipment, I mean, you know what's there. Yeah. I did my best to just, make that place the best gym possible as far as like all around fitness. It wasn't necessarily just bodybuilding. It was more of just true strength training, and top elite training.
Okay.
In Chula Vista or in San Diego. You know what I mean? So we have the best of all worlds: bodybuilding, functional fitness, group classes, reformer Pilates. High Rocks is pretty big right now. We have a High Rocks platform there, full cardio. Anything you want, we have it at that location. Cold plunge, sauna, everything.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. So, like, fitness and health with you, has that always been relevant in your life?
I had a very good upbringing. My parents brought me up the right way. My dad was an old school bodybuilder. So bodybuilding was his lifestyle.
When you say old school bodybuilding, are we talking about like the magazines, like the competition, like Arnold?
Exactly. Yeah. Just he was in the gym every day. He would do, he had a show here and there. He wasn't as big as, some of the old school bodybuilders, but he did what he could and he loved the sport. And, at that time, I wasn't very athletic. I kind of refused to go into the fitness world. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
So I just looked at it from outside looking in. Like, I was like, oh, that's cool, Dad. But not knowing that was going to be a staple in my life and I was going to fall in love with it a few years later and then just kind of dive in,
Dude, that's awesome, bro.
And my mom, she's always took care of herself. She's an endurance athlete. So she's always doing like half marathons, marathon runners. You probably see my mom in the gym today. She's in her 60s, killing these High Rocks workouts, working with her trainer, pushing herself on a daily. And, the fact that it's just an inspiration for my parents,
So fitness has been a part of your life.
Yes.
Now, how do you view current times? How do you view health in a person's life? How important?
I mean, it's super important. It's really the only thing we own in life, Like, you don't have control of anything around you, not even your kids, not even, anything that's super close to you. The only thing you have ultimate control in is your body, your health, and that's with you when you're born, and that's going to be with you when you leave.
I like that, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, it's one thing to have parents that are amazingly fit and in shape, but when and what point did the first thought process of like, I want to have my own gym?
So I was in school. I got my first job as a personal trainer at a gym in Eastlake, a big commercial gym in Eastlake. I'm not going to say any names, but they are a neighboring gym of where my gym's at now. And I just became a personal trainer. I was just trying to go through school or get through school. Originally, I was trying to become a doctor. So I wanted to be an obstetrician, studying, so forth. And then I realized there was blood involved. So I was like, I'm cool with seeing my own blood, but I don't really want to see other people's blood. Like, that's just not my passion. So as I was in that job field, I was training and, realized that was a love that I had. I love helping people. I love pushing people. I love creating a motivating atmosphere. Like, just everybody has that mindset of just trying to get better, and it's always stuck with me, whether it be, business or health or whatever, like, I just love to see that. I love to see people win. I love for them to just strive for greatness, So one of my clients in that gym, one of my original clients, she just kind of threw the idea. I was like, well, why don't you open up a gym? Because she knew that I was having second thoughts about where the career I wanted to go. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but that sounds, easier than what it really takes, So my mom, I took that advice, thought about it. My mom brought home a kettlebell. You know what a kettlebell is?
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah. So at that time, they were not very common, In 2010, nobody really knew what a kettlebell was.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Like the way you're asking me right now, it was kind of foreign. It was like a Russian, they call it Russian kettlebells.
It's a Russian tool.
Correct.
Yeah. So she brought home a kettlebell, and at that time, I had more of the bodybuilding mindset.
Right,
so I was all about, I'm gonna get this bench press, let me get that up or whatever.
Yeah.
And which is cool, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But my mom brought home a kettlebell, and kettlebells are in kilograms.
100%.
So she brought home a 12-kilogram kettlebell, and which is about 26, 27 pounds, right? And she did what's called the kettlebell snatch in front of me.
Okay.
And I was like, what the heck was that? That went up super quick. It was good form too. She had a good coach. So she did that snatch and I was like, oh, well, if you can do that, I can do that.
Okay.
So I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is 12K. At that time, I thought it was 12 pounds because I wasn't aware of the kilogram transition.
Dude, you started from the bottom, bro. This is awesome.
Bro. So I took it from her. I grabbed it, lifted it. I was like, holy shit, this is super heavy. Like, this is not 12 pounds, So I was like, okay. And I did try to do kettlebell snatch, banged up my wrists. Like, the form was just all off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was just kind of an indicator like, well, my mom is like 110 pounds, 5'2". And she's doing a kettlebell snatch, multiple snatches. And, it was just like a wow. So that was an indicator of like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I can bench press, 300 pounds, but I can't do a kettlebell snatch with
like the
26
functional
pounds.
fitness.
The functional end, yes. So it was just an eye opener for me, And so I fell in love with the kettlebell. And again, at that time, nobody was doing it. Maybe like not even a handful of people. I started with the buddy. We just kind of fell in love with it. I went to go get my certification because I was still working at that commercial gym and I wanted to just kind of better myself. I went to UCLA to get an RKC certification, Russian Kettlebell Challenge.
You went to UCLA?
Yeah.
So like in LA?
Not to the school itself, but they were holding a certification or workshop.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went there, and it was in 2008. A buddy and I went there. We did the whole 3-day certification through RKC, which is now known as Strong First certification. And just the camaraderie and everything that I learned in that certification just completely changed my mindset as far as training.
How long was the course? Hours, days?
3 days, 8 hours a day.
3 days, 8 hours a day. And what are you learning? Everything from the ground up?
You're going over 6 key exercises. Swing, double kettlebell swing, clean, squat, press, and snatch, and Turkish get up. And it's not like you can just perform the exercise. They're honing in your skills, and they're looking at all the details of your movements to making sure you can do it right, So it was just, it was just the best certification I've ever gone to. And I've been through some certifications, like I have some knowledge and background, and that certification was just...
What made that one stand out more? The camaraderie?
The camaraderie, the leadership.
Okay.
And, it was just super hands-on. Like,
That's
you
good,
go
dude.
to a certification, it's like, oh, you're going to go read this literature, study
PowerPoint presentation.
multiple choice test, whatever. We did a multiple choice test, but it was literally 8 hours of ass kicking.
That's fucking
Like,
good,
we're
bro.
focusing on one exercise for 3 to 4 hours in that day. And then we're only covering 2 exercises a day. Damn. So we're doing close to, 10,000 swings.
Now, with
the
that
first hour.
certification, is that a building block to what you would eventually go do?
Yes. So that was me just learning the kettlebell, honing in my skills, fine-tuning it. And then later on, I advanced myself in different certifications through Strong First and RKC. But, just the knowledge that I got from that, it was like, I've been doing everything all wrong. Life is not just about bodybuilding. It's about being all around strong. It's not just about dumbbell bench press. If you can't do 5 pull-ups, what good is your 300-pound bench press? Like if you can't do, some body weight squats, 25 reps, what's the point of doing one, 300-pound squat?
I had no idea that you were that into functional training, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a staple. Like, I love it. I love bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is...
And I respect bodybuilding as well.
But at the end of the day, like, bodybuilding is not really going to do much for you besides looking aesthetically nice,
And being strong, yeah.
And being strong, yeah. You know what I mean? But if you're trying in life, you want to be all around strong. Your functionality needs to be on point. I see you in the gym doing burpees all the time.
Cardio.
Yeah. Burpees fucking suck. Oh, but you push yourself, and it's more of like a mental mindset. It's a barrier, you know what I mean? So believe it or not, I watch everything that goes on in my gym. I learn all the trades and the passions that everybody has. And the fact that I'm able to have such a wide variety of, health and wellness and fitness under one place is super amazing, bro.
The community there is awesome, dude. And I've been wanting to say this. It's like that CrossFit community vibe, but everybody's doing their own thing. Yeah. It's always like, hey, what up? What up, man?
It's just like as soon as you walk in, the mindset is like, let's fucking go.
Let's crush it.
Let's work out. Like, let me get my shit done. Let me go hit what I got to hit. And it's not like you're going to, another commercial gym where it's like, oh, you're going to find these people on the phone, on the machine.
Yeah, it's
like,
not that vibe, dude. Now it's almost a sweet spot between like a CrossFit gym and like a commercial gym. Yeah. It's like the perfect mix, dude. And I didn't even think that was possible.
Right. So...
And we're going to get into it because like the designs, the paintings, and the hype. Oh, bro, we're going to get into it.
Okay.
So when was the first, how many gyms have you opened?
Okay, so 2010, I was there for 3 years. That was 1,400 square feet. I don't know if you're aware of square footage, but it was probably the size of this room.
Which is what? Like a big living room plus kitchen?
Yeah, exactly. So I opened up my first kettlebell gym in Bonita.
In Bonita.
So do you know where the Little Caesars in Bonita is by Plaza Bonita Mall? There's like an El Pollo Grill.
Yeah, there's a freaking Massage Envy right there.
Yeah, exactly. So that Little Caesars was my first location.
The Little Caesars. Okay.
We were the second business as it was being restored.
What year was this?
2010.
Oh man.
So it was a Pier 1 Imports. If you're Chula Vista native and all that, you'll know where the Pier 1
Imports. That's where the
Imports
Tacos de Relaciones?
Exactly, the same building.
Okay.
But just the suite, 3 suites down.
Yeah.
Next to the beauty store. So I was there for 3 years.
You were there for 3 years. Yeah. Now, dude, you were trying to become a doctor, right? Yeah. You had the doctor mindset of education.
Right.
You had your parents' guidance of fitness. Bro, how the hell did you research, I got to rent this, lease this spot?
It was actually, conveniently I was going to school and I have a business management degree. So as I was kind of going into that and just learning through school, it kind of coincided with me opening up my business at the time. And, and also I just threw myself out there. Like I network with people, ask people what to do. Nobody likes going to the city of Chula Vista for permits, but I was there on a daily, like, what do I need to do to open this up?
You had to do that?
I had to do all that, man. Like get permits.
Oh, that sounds so
and
horrible
this is me
to me, bro.
At 26 years old, bro. It was a scary process, but honestly, when you want something, you just do it.
So the next,
get it done.
As we proceed in this interview, bro, like the way I'm going to stage the questions and knowing what I now know, it's like, I have a 7-year-old daughter and I brought her to the gym. It's like, I want the crowd to get, the audience to get the understanding of what it takes to like make something happen. And like you said, bro, it's not easy. You got to make 26 years old, dude. That's like, that's rare, dude, but that's like your prime right there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know. I've always just been like that. Once I stick my mind to something and I know I want it, I'm going to do my best to get it, and I'm not really good at taking no for an answer, even though I'll take the no's, but I'll go try to find the yes.
Did you partner with anybody?
No, at the time, my mom just helped me out. My mom was, she's a real estate agent, loan officer, and, she kind of saw the vision and the dream of me, of what I had, and she invested in that dream at the time, and she helped me out.
Bro, that's before Instagram.
Any social media.
Any social media. So what would...
It was like MySpace days, maybe.
What did marketing look like for you?
Just word of mouth, man. So actually, not funny that you bring that up. All right, so we opened up 2010. I had kettlebells in the studio. You can see them from the mirror, or from the window. And you had your traditional hard style black kettlebells. And then I bought what's called a GoFit brand. And these kettlebells are all color coordinated. So you can see the red, you can see the yellow, the pink, and all that. And the only reason, the kettlebells weren't the best, but the only reason why I bought them is so that when women came in, they would see the colors and be like, oh my God, that's cute. I want to use that.
Strategy, bro.
So it was just, that was the market. That was one of my marketing plans there. And then just, I don't know, brother. I just was out there. Well, originally I started at the park. So I went to formulated group classes at the park, got a little following, opened up the brick-and-mortar in 2010, and, they followed me, and it was just word of mouth.
And, like, were you working a counter as well? Was there a counter, like, where you would take registrations or memberships?
Yeah, so I was doing it all, but we would close throughout the midday, so I wouldn't be there all day. We would just open early morning for classes, close to the midday, and then come back in the afternoon when we were busy. And people would just come in once they saw people swinging, and working out in the group class environment.
Is this where you were learning like peak times of days when people come and work out?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you've ever been a trainer or whatnot, like your on hours are people's off hours.
Say that again?
Your on hours are people's off hours.
That makes sense.
So, my busiest time is 4 a.m. through 10 a.m., chill out, come back, 3 p.m. to, 10 p.m., whatever.
Dang, dude.
So, yeah.
People actually get those late workouts in? Like,
you'd be surprised, man.
I can't do it, bro. I
can't do it, but, people are there. People start at 5 a.m. That gym, thank God my gym now is busy throughout the day. Like it's even like 12, 1, I'm like, don't these people work? You know what I mean?
So fulfillment level. During this first brick and mortar kettlebell in Bonita, right there by Plaza Bonita, what was the fulfillment level for you? Were you satisfied? Were you fulfilling a passion?
I was fulfilling a passion, and it was a dream that I had, It was the first kettlebell gym in Chula Vista.
Okay.
But it was also scary, man. Like I really wasn't making a lot of money. I was just making enough to pay bills for about 2.5 years. I was growing, but, my rent was for 1,400 square foot at that time, I think it was like $3,900. Yeah, specifically $4,000 a month. Not including electricity, not including, whatever cost it takes for materials like restroom, all that. Like, it was an expense, man. And at 26 years old, I was just trying to get it done and still getting to know the business, and it was tough. Luckily I made it through, and I was able to make enough every month to pay bills and go and do that. What made it also scarier is that the same year I opened up my gym is the same year I found out I was going to be a dad.
Oh, wow, dude.
So, yeah. So, opened up my gym a few months later, found out that I was going to have a son. And
now, I remember tossing the idea around in 2011 when CrossFit boomed.
Yes.
And me and my friends were like, hey, dude, we should open up a CrossFit gym. All we'll have to do is buy the equipment up front, and everything else will just pay itself off. What's the logic behind that? Can you break that down? Like, what's the realistic coming to owning a gym? Because you said you got to pay for rent. You mentioned like...
at the beginning level or at the level I'm at now?
How does it differ? Break it down for me.
I mean, I guess it's pretty much the same. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, you know, it's very glamorous for, you know, you see an owner like, oh, he owns a business, he's making all kinds of money. That is not true at all. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's rewarding. It gets rewarding. You know, thank God it's been rewarding for me at this level. But, you know, the first 6 years of my life, like it was me just dishing out money for marketing. I tried to do paper marketing, like money mailers and all that. Just buying certain like equipment, fixing equipment. Equipment breaks down.
Ooh, fixing equipment,
so,
dude. As a gym owner, how often does equipment break down?
Weekly.
Weekly.
Even now, like in my newest gym, all my machines are new, and you know, we still get things that break down, and I have to get them fixed. You know what I mean? And I really do my best to try to have a quick turnaround.
Right.
Even though some things are, out of my hands. We're getting certain things fixed because of shipping and delays and where they're from. But I don't want to be known as another typical commercial gym at this level. I want people to know that I'm there, I care, and I want that equipment to be, fully functioning for everybody. So
the level you're at now, I know what level you're at now because I'm a member of your gym.
Yeah.
How many steps were there in between, and what did it look like for you? Did it look like a gradual incline, or was there like peaks and valleys and all arounds?
There was a lot of highs and lows, brother. A lot of highs and lows. So,
Elaborate.
2010, did 3 years, right? After the 3 years, moved deeper into Bonita, next to there's a Wells Fargo. Now there's it's a meal prep company or some type of lounge. Anyways, I was there for 3 years. It was 4,000 square feet, so it was a mild increase. The building was not that great, but I made it happen. I made it work. Was there for 3 years. After 6 years of Bonita, I decided to move towards Eastlake, and in this transition to Eastlake, okay, let me back up real quick. So in my gym now, there is my old gym that is directly across the street from where I'm at.
Yes.
Right? That same gym, I moved into that same building. I moved maybe like 7 years ago, 8 years. Anyways, right after Bonita, I moved to that gym with a partnership.
Okay.
And it started off really good. I brought all my clientele there. They had their current clientele. We formed a union. Things were moving.
What was that one called?
That was called Maxim Athletic.
Okay.
Yeah. Maxim, it was a joint venture. There was a gym called Lifelong Athletics there, or a program called Lifelong Athletics. Unfortunately, that owner passed away. And I was approached to help take it over, keep the movement alive in the Eastlake area.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I closed my gym, merged it with a partner who was the previous partner's or previous program's partner.
Okay.
And it was Maxim Athletic. So I kind of dissolved my own identity, in hopes of trying to create this partnership and, push forward. Was there for a year, and basically the old partner kind of did some shady stuff to me, played with the payroll a little bit, and basically put our business in red. So we couldn't really, they were saying that we couldn't pay the bills and our partnership was over. And I tried to fight for it as far as I backed it up financially.
Yeah.
And long story short, I was left without a gym overnight.
No way.
They kicked me out of my own gym.
You're like fucking Steve Jobs, bro.
Yeah.
Like got kicked out of
dude,
Microsoft.
It was literally one of the toughest experiences I've ever gone through, and I was kicked out of my own business overnight. And I specifically remember this weekend. It was a Friday. They kicked me out. We had the little battle or whatever, argument. I had no real rights because I was still young-minded, and I went in there with just kind of like verbal, agreements or whatever. So anyways, ended up, I literally just had to go that following Monday. I took whatever clients that would come with me, and we went to the park right next to my house to try to just save whatever I could.
You said you were young-minded. I've been a young man once in my life. And what type of emotions were you feeling? Resentment, anger?
All of the above, man. I was broken, to be honest with you, brother. I was broken. Like, I was more just doing it and going through the motions for the people who believed in me.
Okay.
and not just my clients, like my family.
Okay.
You know, it was really the toughest business experience. Well, one of the toughest business experiences that I had to go through, you know, like, and humbling, super humbling, because in that partnership I was doing, you know, I was doing all right at that time. I was making, you know, what I thought was decent money, you know, and then it went from 100 to 0 real quick.
Overnight,
like literally overnight, bro. Like overnight, I was left with pretty much nothing. And thanks to all the people that follow me, they went to the park, and I was at the park for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then I was searching for locations during this time, and I found a location, an old CrossFit gym.
Before you move on,
yeah,
this is where most people quit.
100%.
This, in whatever we speak about in life, whether you're trying for a job or you're get asked out of a gym, this is where people quit, throw in the fucking towel, man.
Yeah, man.
Go through a divorce,
Depression for sure.
Yes.
Inside, I was super depressed. You know, like I was moving through the motions, but
You just kept moving through the motions. You just
I
kept
had no other
trudging
choice,
forward,
brother. Like, you know, it was either that or I think my mom even told me. I believe it was my mom. She was like, you know, maybe you should just go get a 9 to 5.
Right.
Or you just go work at Subway or whatever, you know,
Right.
in the meantime. But thankfully, I
respect the shit out of you, bro.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So what were you saying about this CrossFit gym?
So I was looking for other gyms because obviously I wanted to bring my group, like whatever members I had at that time, they still wanted to pay me, you know what I mean? And they were pushing me forward to go open up another location. So I found an old CrossFit gym in Rancho Del Rey.
Okay.
You know Rancho Del Rey by the Costco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8th
So
Street.
it's a little industrial community. It was 2,400 square feet. And we worked out a deal that basically I bought everything in that place. So luckily I had some money saved up. My mom also helped me out again.
Okay.
You know, my mom's a shit.
They're the
you know,
best,
she's
bro.
She's always had my back from day one. She's my biggest headache, but she's also my biggest supporter.
I feel you.
You know, even to this day, you know, my mom still yells at me. The only person in my gym that tells me what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, Alex, go take out the trash. I'm like, what? You know, but anyways, my mom was super supportive, and you know, she saw how destroyed I was, and you know, she came to the rescue, to be honest with you. So she helped me buy the gym, the small little studio. And even during that time, like I was going through the motions, but for about 2 years, man, I was still pretty lost, you know, because with this other partnership, you know, this guy was older than me. So, you know, he was kind of more of like an investor type of thing. And I saw the vision of me just kind of going to a different level in my career, a vision that I thought I would never be able to do by myself.
Okay.
You know?
What did the timeline look like? It looked like that one gym across from your current one.
Yes.
And then to the park next to your house. And then
to Rancho Del Rey.
And then to Rancho Del Rey.
Was there for 3 years, like 2 years, finished off my lease, because I finished off their lease, which was like 2.5 years, right? And this is when COVID started. So I was there. Luckily, the month that COVID started, or like 2 months, is the month to where that lease expired. And then I was like, well, I'm here. I could still be open because it was like an open air thing.
That's cool.
And then I get a phone call from the East Lake building, the one that's across the street.
Yeah.
From the owner, from the actual owner of the building, saying that my old partners went out of business. Do you want this building back?
That's the one you were at?
That was when I was at.
Okay.
So when I moved to East Lake, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not to mention when I was left out of building, they threw my name under the gutter. Like, they were saying that I couldn't make rent, that I couldn't pay the bills.
But the owner of the building called you.
But the owner of the actual building, or his daughter, she reached out to me asking me if I wanted to rent the space.
Okay.
So my old partners went out of business. I came in and took that building back over.
Dang, dude. I was wondering how that... I see how the
now
timeline
you see it correlates.
Yeah.
And, you know, COVID happened. And I still made the transition because at that particular building, there's a 60 by 30 yard turf. 60 by 30 yard turf. And I was able to be open because it was open air. So still run my gym, still run my programs, and still build. every other commercial gym or whatever gym around me, like big gyms, were closed because
Right.
it was COVID. You know, we couldn't
Right.
do that. So COVID actually made my career and spiked me up because people found out that I was open, and then they fell in love with the programs. And at that time, because when I went back to the location, I made it Extreme Fitness again. It was Extreme Fitness Chula Vista.
When you went back to the thing.
When I came, yeah. So
That
Extreme
name.
Fitness was my before, and then I put it back once I got there again.
Now, this clientele, where you're back in your old building, your clientele that you had, were they like a consistent, loyal group, or were they just getting new clients?
Super loyal. I mean, both. So in transitioning to the new to back to Eastlake, you know, I had my loyal following. You know, some people have been with me since the very first kettlebell class
That's
I've ever taught.
nuts,
you know?
dude.
And they've all supported me, and they were my ride or dies. And they're still members of my gym today.
That's awesome, dude.
You know, you probably see them every day. You know,
Probably.
I'm not sure if you know Dana. Dana's the manager on site that I have. She's the
I do.
the older white, the Caucasian
Okay, I
lady.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been there since the beginning?
She's been with me, not from the beginning, but pretty much.
Okay, cool.
And she's always had my back. She's seen me at my worst, and she's always been a motivator as well.
Nice,
you know what I mean?
dude.
Like, she's a blessing in my life for sure. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't ask for a better person, you know, helping me out and having my back.
Now, all of this time that we've just covered and experienced, are you living a normal life? Are you going to the club? Are you getting faded? Are you prioritizing business?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
After the partnership ended and I went to Rancho Del Rey, I was going through a lot of depression, brother. So I was partying, I was out there, you know, not really caring, you know, and still moving through the motions. But, you know, Dana had my back. She would
But
teach
that
the
was not
classes.
your normal behavior to be out there.
It was not. Because
Okay.
typically I'm not really like a social butterfly like that, you know? Like
I don't get that from you. That's why I asked this question.
But I was hurting, bro. And I didn't know how to like handle that hurt. And it was more just like, I just wanted to feel numb all the time. So, you know, my instructor's Dana, my brother Angel, who's been with me since day one. He also helped me like in rough transitions because, you know, there'd be times where I'd be at home passed out drunk and they would open for me, you know? And I don't want to say that, but if you want the real deal, this is life.
that's
You
the
know what I
real
mean?
deal.
Like,
No. I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
They needed to fucking hear
like
that.
it was one of the roughest patches of my life, you know, that I had to go through just because I didn't know to handle that hurt.
Right.
But when I got the opportunity to go back to Eastlake is when I was like, all right, I got one more shot. You're either gonna make it or break it. And my mom is the one that actually told me this. She's like, you know, Alex, I've seen your life in the past 2 years. And she looked at me dead in my face like, I have 2 boys and I love my 2 boys and I know they're both gonna be successful. But out of my 2 boys, I thought you were gonna be the one that was gonna take it to new heights and, you know, reach a certain level of success that was gonna not necessarily like free our family financially, you know? And she's like, I believed in you the most, you know, like, and not to say, you know, my brother's super successful, you know what I mean? But maybe she was just telling me that to kind of kickstart me, but that
It
just
worked.
hit home.
It
you know?
worked,
Like,
bro.
I just kind of throw it back. I'm like, dang, you really just went in on me like that.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I had such high hopes for you. And I don't know what, like, this is
Dude, that's tough love, though.
yeah, 100%. I cried, bro. Like, I was like, it was,
That's real.
yeah. So definitely snapped me out. And I was like,
Now let me ask you this, bro. So you're at your location that we're speaking of right now. Did you ever keep your eye on that big ass building across the street?
I never thought I would be able to do this by myself, bro. To be honest with you, I always thought like, you know, you hear like, oh, you got to get investors and all
Yeah.
of that, you know? And
But how did that come to be across the street? I mean, you got the Compass Gymnastics right there. Like, at what point you're back at your original building? What point did you realize I have the opportunity? When did that opportunity arise?
so when I went back to Eastlake, was there at that location for 5 years. It was strictly group classes and personal training. When I first got there, I was just trying to be able to make that rent because it was a significant rent increase. It was like close to $10,000 a month.
Wow, dude.
You know, just to pay rent. So, you know, But again, luckily, I became a lot more popular. I changed my programming. That's kind of when I got into more all-around functional fitness or all-around strength training, barbell work, kettlebell work, specific days. So Monday, leg day, Tuesday, back day, Wednesday, upper body, abs, and conditioning. Thursday, we got a glute day for the ladies. Guys can do glutes too, but glute day for the ladies, which became very popular. That's why I had so many women in my program.
Did you have more females at that
time,
at that one location?
At that time, my clientele was about 90% women.
Okay.
So, we had a few guys in there, but it was like 90% women. And I changed that programming up. And when I first got there, I was like, this is it. I'm successful. It's financially rewarding at this point.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I was saving because I don't really spend a lot of money on material things. I kind of just save, and I would rather the people around me to have nice things than myself, So I was just saving. And then the last 2 years of my lease, it was like coming up to my 4th year, excuse me. I don't know. I was like, I see Instagram and I see all these people having like this commercial sized gym. Like, how do people get this? Like how does one get to this level? And
were you looking at local ones, or you like
no, just like on Instagram? Like you see like everybody has the best life in Instagram, and I see trainers that I've seen and I've followed. They have, like,
but simultaneously, there's two things happening simultaneously with social media is taking and social media influencers,
yes,
quote unquote,
right? So
it becomes a whole aesthetic appearance.
Yes. So
is that what caught your attention?
Yeah, obviously, like I'm in the fitness industry. I've been doing it for X amount of years.
So what you were doing is you were moving on with modern times.
Yeah, it was more like manifesting,
Yeah.
And in Eastlake's a very beautiful community and has grown so much, but it's still also behind in a lot of ways. The gym scene in Eastlake, it's all about just commercial fitness.
Right.
You'll find your local Crunch or your local Planet Fitness or LA Fitness or even Lifetime Fitness now, which is all nice. I'm sure they have great amenities. You know what I mean? But to find a destination gym in Eastlake, that was my goal and that was my vision. I was like, I want to have the best gym in San Diego, well, at least in Chula Vista, you know what I mean? And I want this to be the spot of hard work and dedication and motivated mindset, and just create the best destination gym in Eastlake.
Were you sketching on a piece of paper? Were you drafting? Were you envisioning?
It was just more me playing on my laptop, you know what I mean? Like just the ideas, and on my phone, just saving like concepts that I would see and just what type of equipment that I would want in my gym.
What you have right now, is that what you envisioned, or is it more or less?
It's better. It's better.
It fucking what you have right now is better?
Way better.
100%, bro.
My vision was one thing, but then I just knew I had to take it to a different level. And, there was a lot of, I heard thousands of no's, like even my mom and my brother, like my mom, who's always my advocate.
Yeah.
She's like, always like, I believe in everything you do. But she's like, I think your dream might be a little far-fetched, Alex. Like, this is super risky, like I have zero, I don't have any investors, this has all been a family business. So,
okay.
I have a house that my mom and I bought from 2016. So I wonder if 2006. And I just took money out of my house, and I took that money out of my house and I put it all into this gym. Everything that we have saved, like I reinvested into this gym. So that's why the number one question is like, Alex, like you the only owner, or how many investors do you have? And I'm like, I have zero.
Bro, I didn't even want to ask you. Like, I was like, how am I going to ask this dude like financial questions? How does one fund something like this?
Yeah.
Because I need the public to understand, like, dude, and I'll post like videos of it. There's everything, treadmills, a Stairmaster.
Yeah, it's a full commercial size gym.
No, there's everything.
Yeah.
There's a heavy bag too. I was fucking happy when you put that heavy bag, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Rigs, pull-up rigs, wall balls, squat racks, dude. Bench, incline, decline.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I risked it all. Literally put everything on the table, brother. Like, and
now
I had, well, let me back up a little bit. Not the house, the money for my house was great and all that, but throughout the 5 years, I also saved a lot of money.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I just, like, if you're in the business, like, save as much as you can. Like, if you want something, like, you can't just do it and then live paycheck to paycheck and all that. Like, you got to put it in the bank account.
But you strike me as a very intelligent and smart person. I'm sure this was not a reckless risk.
No, it was very calculated.
Calculated
I
risk.
did all my research and,
Could you explain to the crowd, like, what would be the difference between a reckless risk and a calculated risk?
So calculated risk means, it was a lot of trial and error in your head. Like, what can go wrong? If I do this, what's going to happen? If I do this, what's going to happen? Right? But even in a calculated risk, there's going to be a little bit of recklessness.
100%, bro.
So it's not like I just was like, here, I'm going to throw my money in here and hope it works. Like, let me just go put, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table and, like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to go buy a Lambo because that's a stupid risk.
Correct.
Like, if you're not at that level, there's no reason to do that. So, but if you're investing your money into building a business, that one is your dream, and two, that that community is going to want and reciprocate, like, it's just going to happen, brother. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
So, oh my God, bro. I'm so stoked. I'm just, like, excited about this, dude.
Thank you, man.
This warehouse, because that's what it is, bro. It's more, it looks like more than one massive warehouse.
Yeah, it's 29,000 square feet, bro.
29,000 square feet. I mean, you could park airplanes in that thing.
When I first got it, I actually had somebody want to rent it to put their boats in there so they can paint. That's how big it is. They're like, oh, can we use it to, like, go paint some boats? I'm like, no, man, I'm building a gym. Like, but
when you got the tour, right? I'm assuming somebody gives you a tour of, like, kind of an open house. Like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was kind of half-assed because they didn't believe me. They show me the building, but they see this, this kid who just wants to rent out a building that is, the rent is about buying a new car every month. Like, that's how much my rent is. You know what I mean? Like, God, it's, I'm not going to give you the exact number, but $50,000 around there monthly just to pay rent for that building, So you can imagine what we have to, how much we have to bring in. But anyway, so when they met me, we did a quick tour, and then they kind of just put me in the back order. We did some negotiating, and they denied me.
They denied you?
They denied me. So about a year and a half before I got it, they denied me. They were like, you're just not strong enough. You're not strong enough by yourself. Like, you don't have enough money at your account. And what I had in my account, I thought it was pretty significant.
Okay.
But, they're used to dealing with, like, $1 million industries. They were like, well, we want more of, like, like a warehouse type of thing.
Dude, your story is so badass, bro. You just came from the fucking gutter, dude.
Yeah. So they denied me. And I was like, damn, okay, well, I'm left with nothing. What do I do? So I went down the street, and I was in negotiations at what's the old Albertsons. Do you know where the old Albertsons is?
Yep. Pisos.
Yeah, but the actual Albertsons building?
Yeah.
I was negotiating that for like 6 months to build the
That's
gym.
massive.
Yeah. But the biggest thing, when the Albertsons closed, some people broke in and they stole all the copper, all the electricity out of the building. So just to get in that building was about $400,000 just to get a light bulb to go.
Your location at where you're at now is better than that Albertsons location.
I think so now.
100%.
But I was there I was negotiating with them, and then the owner decided to be like, you know what? You're not worth it. I'm not going to spend X amount of money into this new kid's business. It's like, I understand. I see the dream, but you just I don't see it in you. I was like, okay, well. And this is December 24, just 2024. And I had to be out of my location December 2024. So I kind of just counted on that. Luckily, the owner of the location I was at across the street, he gave me an extra 3 months to figure out what I want to do, because I was successful, but I wasn't enjoying what I was doing anymore. It was kind of like, I've outgrown this. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to be a personal trainer for the rest of my life. like, or a group class. Like, you know, like I love my clientele, but I want to evolve. I'm the type of person that, like, if I don't feel like I'm getting better at something or if I'm advancing, like there's no amount of money that you're going to be able to pay me because I'm not going to enjoy it. You know, like if you really don't enjoy something, the amount of money you're getting paid for it is not going to be sufficient.
100%.
You know? And again, I was doing well. I wasn't doing like great or anything, but I was doing like, you know, pretty good for my career or for where I was at in the community. And I just was like, you know what? If I can't find a building, like I'm just going to close my gym. Take some time off. I save some money up.
Okay.
I can take 2 years off or whatever, figure out what I got to do. So it was kind of at that point. But then I also have this other side of me that's like, no, you're fucking not, Alex.
Yeah.
Like, you got to take this to a level. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward. So I went back to the building that we're in now, the building now. And I was like, look, you guys are still vacant. I'm still very interested. You know, like I have everything lined up. Like all I'm asking for is a shot. And, you know, they were negotiating with someone else. They kept kind of giving me the runaround. And then I was having to be out of my building, the old building in Eastlake, by March 31st. I didn't know where I was going to go until about 2 weeks before that.
No way.
I swear to God.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I thought I was going to close March 31st. Ask anybody who's close to me, my mom, Dana. Like the moment I got the news, I was in my office. Dana comes in and she just looked at me. She's like, are you okay? Like it was like I saw a ghost. Like I literally just dropped into tears after that phone call.
So I believe in God. I'm a firm believer in God. And I'm a firm believer in things happen for a reason and at the right time, dude. So yeah, no, it sounds so sketchy, like the 2 weeks and this and that, but I firmly believe that it was, you know, on that.
None of this would have been able to like be provided to me without God.
Facts,
God has
dude.
given me everything, bro. Like, and I can't say that I've had like the strongest relationship, you know, all my life with God, but in this new venture and you know where he's put me, like he is the only reason.
100%,
to be honest
dude.
with you, man. Like he's had, I don't know what I've done good in life. I don't know what, like, you know, because I don't feel like I've been that great, but for some reason I am in God's favor and I thank God every day for that, you know? And yeah.
So
100%.
you get, they end up saying, yeah, we'll.
They say yes 2 weeks before I had to be out of my lease. I was like in shock for about an hour after crying, you know, like just enjoy, you know, tears of joy.
100%.
You know what I mean? And then from there I was like, all right, well, I got to get fucking moving. Like, let me game plan this real quick. I already had the layout of everything, like just because I've had it from before. I moved in, like the first week of April. They let me in. And you know my gym now where I do the group classes and the functional area and all that?
In the back.
In the back. So I did that in 3 days. I built that area because that was all the equipment that I had in my old location. Put the mats down. I did that in 3 days over the weekend with my team,
so
not just me, my team. You know, and we built that, and I was running my business as I was trying to build the gym at the same time, because my gym was probably empty for about, well, the commercialized side, probably for about 2.5 months to 3 months. It was empty. There was no equipment. It was me just running the classes in the back.
Oh shit! So you were running classes in the back right there.
Yeah. So that same area was built out.
Massive freaking warehouse.
So imagine trying to sell a membership and a vision when somebody walked into this big ass empty building. You're like, you're really just selling that? Like that's classes. You know what I mean? And you know, thankfully
it worked though.
Yeah.
Because when I signed up, it was still in progress.
In process.
Actually, I signed up before the soft opening.
Yeah. So you're in the pre-sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So, I mean, people like you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Like, you guys took the leap of faith.
It's because you could see the potential.
Yeah.
It's like you walk in and you could see the potential. Like, dude, this is fucking, has the potential to be something.
Yeah.
And it currently is. It's massive, dude.
Thank you, bro. And my sales team. I have the best
hey, real
sales
quick,
team.
shout out to them, man.
Dude,
they're friendly.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody's cool, man. It's a cool-ass vibe, bro.
Yeah. My whole team is the best, man. Like, and it actually started off with one person who took a leap of faith as well. His name is Omar Mercado. I don't know if you know Omar. He's the sales manager and the general manager in the front. He runs all the staff, and you know, he took a leap of faith with me. He left LA Fitness. He was a GM at LA Fitness.
Dang,
and he left
dude.
his job And with a new baby and wife, and he took the leap of faith with me and, saw the vision. He was super scared, like I get he was super scared, but he took a leap of faith with me and with me. And yeah, man, like everybody on my team, like everybody, like, from the person cleaning the gym, like is amazing.
From the time that you were running the groups in the back area, bro, you have a lot of members now.
Yeah.
What did that boom look like to you?
So when I moved into that building, I had 400 members, maybe. 400.
That's a lot, though. I mean,
it's a
400
good
to me sounds a lot.
Yeah, it's a good amount. Currently talking to you right now, I have close to 2,400 in a matter of 7 months, 8 months, 7 months. Yeah.
And climbing.
And climbing, man. So.
Was it a steady incline or was there like a boom, boom, boom? Like your sales team was like, hey, we can't keep up?
The first 2 months, it was us just trying to, show people the vision of what we wanted or what we're doing, taking a leap of faith like you did. But after we had the soft opening and people saw equipment coming in, like people were like, oh shit, like it's starting to come out like pretty good. And then we had the grand opening where we had the deputy mayor come out and everything and have like a big party. It's just been booming ever since then. Like,
so one of the perks, dude, is like you don't have to wait around for equipment.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my pet peeves at a regular gym is like having to wait around. Also, you don't feel confined. I was talking to somebody earlier too that I've taken to the gym, and they're like, "Hey, I like that it's tall ceilings,
open air. Well, not open air, but like just high ceilings. Yeah.
It's a warehouse.
Yeah. It's and there's more equipment coming in. So
I don't even know how, bro.
Going into that big ass building, I didn't know I was gonna fill it up, but now I've rented a space and I'm trying to organize in different ways. But yeah.
So I'm super happy, dude, that like that worked out for you, bro, and like
Thank you, man.
that it's in a staple of our community is what it is, man. Especially health and fitness and freaking COVID and mental health issues. It's very important that people get physically fit.
Yes, 100%, man. And that's just the environment that we have there. Like, people who are there at our gym have that mindset. You know what I mean? They're not just the average people like, oh, I'm just going to half-ass it. Like, everybody who goes in there is just super like, let's get this shit done. Like, let's work hard. Let's push ourselves and then give it all you got within the hour or 2 hours you're there. And then you take off and you live your life, And that was one of the most important things for me in opening that location. I didn't want to just be like a regular commercial gym where people just are half-assing it. That's why my membership tier is a little bit higher than normal. It's still, I feel like it's very competitive, but we're definitely higher than a Crunch, higher than LA Fitness, or higher.
I'll tell you this though, I was paying more at Fit Athletics in Mission Beach. Yeah, I'm paying less at your gym, but I love it way better. I canceled my fucking Fit Athletics. I think I told you, I was like, dude, I canceled my Fit.
Yeah.
In Mission Beach.
I mean, much respect to Fit because I think that's also a private gym as well. But yeah, I mean ours. Yeah, I just wanted to create that staple. Have like that person who wants to invest a little more into the gym. It's not for like selfishness. It's not for me trying to just charge more. It's more like separating the people who are thinking about fitness and just doing it because they want to get away, like on their phone or whatever, and then bringing in the audience that knows what they're doing, wants to get better, motivated mindset.
I mean, I was gonna say, like me, I've come to realize that people are cheap bastards. Being a business owner or myself, like entrepreneur now, and like they have no problem paying for fucking nachos or a 40-ounce. You know what I mean? Or like bullshit.
100%. You're gonna go to Petco and buy a $19 soda.
Or beer.
Yeah, or beer, so.
But you can't spend $60, $75 on a badass, the best fucking gym membership, dude.
Yeah.
And again, it's mindset.
Right. And we have different tiers now. So we have the Pilates tier, the X-Form tier, which I'm sporting the sweater. Our Pilates program is taking off pretty good, ran by a great team. So and then we also have the Premier tier, which is the group functional classes. It's just different levels of what you want.
Right before we started talking on this interview, I said like, hey, what's up with the parking? And like, have you encountered any problems? And you're like, yeah, they're good problems. So
yeah. So parking is definitely an issue at this point. I'm working on some things to try to relieve it a little bit. But, when I first got in there, I didn't think I was even going to be able to fill up a parking lot. So, I wasn't really kind of like, I just wanted the building and I was like, that was it. I want to go in there. Like, I'm not thinking about anything else, but, respecting my neighboring tenants, like they put in certain spaces that are designated to our individual businesses, which I understand, you know what I mean? But it also makes it tough for my business because, thankfully we blew up in a good way. You know what I mean? Like we went from, like I said, 400 to 2,400 members, and parking's an issue. So I'm actually working on a valet service. No. And it's not for sure yet, but I'm working on it. And I'm also working on renting my old location's parking lot for after hours, so we can park the cars there.
I could see that, dude.
So
it's crazy how your brain just wants to like just elevate the level.
Yeah, I just want to I'm the type of person like, it's not really just me trying to get to this level. It's me. Like, I just want the best for people who.
Right. I didn't say that. I mean that like you were selfish. I mean, like, bro, you're always looking at like the bigger picture.
Yeah. Thankfully, man. I mean, it's just.
I'm
always trying to please everybody.
What would be next? Opening up in other locations, cities?
My long goal, to be honest with you, like from this, is I want to be the In-N-Out Burger of gyms. Now, when I say that, In-N-Out Burger, it is not a franchised business. In-N-Out Burger is owned by one person or one family individually. They own every In-N-Out Burger, right? But ran by different people. I want to keep the integrity and own every gym that is built within San Diego or California or wherever, God takes me to put gyms. I want to own every individual one of them, but also have like, a good team and good management team. So opening up another one it's already on the drawing board.
Dang, dude. Yeah. The thing about your gym, bro, is like no other gym can compare. And if you think about it, I've been working out, since I was 17 years old, dude. I'm 41 years old now. Yeah. Like, there's other gyms in California. There's other gyms in Chula Vista and San Diego. But what you have, dude, is like, I don't know how to explain it to the crowd, man. It's fucking massive, dude. It's massive. To me, it's the size of like 4 warehouses. Is what it looks like.
It's massive, bro.
It's massive, bro. All the equipment you can think of and then some, probably fucking equipment that I wouldn't even use, but it's still there if you wanted to use it. And like the community, I think that's massive, dude. Community. Yeah. It motivates you to want to do better, get better, and you feel like you're part of like a tribe.
The gym is great, but the people are what make it, man. You know what I mean?
What's up with the artwork, dude? Was that your vision or was that somebody else's idea?
No, that was my vision. So I wanted to have my logo up there nice and big. But if you notice on the sides of the main art wall, they're different pieces. So on the right-hand side, like if you're facing the wall, on the right-hand side are just different characteristics that represent San Diego. 619, all that, like, because this is my home, If you're looking staring at the wall, you look to the left side, there's also pieces that represent San Diego, but they represent me, everything that I've gone through. Like you'll see like a lion, which
I saw the lion.
I'm a firm believer of, king of the jungle, alpha mindset. If you want something, go get it. Nothing's going to stop you. Be the leader of wherever you're at, And if you notice, a lion is always going to come in last to show his presence because people already know what he has. He's more of like the quiet person and lets the lionesses do all the work. You know what I mean? But, right. But when he needs to step in, he steps in and he comes in full-fledged, I have a Joker card there. I don't know if you see the Joker card there. Joker, besides being DC Comics, he's one of my favorite anti-heroes. And just because of the way he is, like everybody loves to hate him. Like in this venture, as much as people love me in this transition, there's also a lot of people that
I can see that from my experience. Yeah. So I totally understand.
Yeah. And it's nothing that I hold people like accountable for. Like I get it.
Right.
If you're at a certain level and you see somebody take it to a different level, it's hard to accept. You know what I mean? I've never really been envious because that's just not who I am. I'm always just focusing on what I got to do to make myself better. But, like it comes with the territory, like just as much people love you, people are going to hate you and wish you bad. And the point is, Do it for yourself, do it for your family, and for the people who are close to you, and for the people who believe in you.
Facts.
You know? That's
Yeah,
it.
because ultimately you're a leader. I mean, you're leading the pack.
Yeah, I try, man.
You're creating something for somebody else, and you're paving the way. You paved the fucking way, dude.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. And I mean, so yeah, that art wall, I mean, you got the Padres logo in there, the old school logo. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yep.
You got the Coronado Bridge. I don't know if you've seen the Coronado Bridge on the top left.
I don't think I've noticed the bridge. Maybe I did, but
I'll show it to you the next time you're in the gym. But I mean, that's a key staple in San Diego. And, you know, I'm very familiar with the Coronado Bridge because my dad used to work at the Navy base. So we would cross it all the time. You know, that bridge has always been a staple in me growing up. Yeah, and then we got the secret letters 2010 because that's when the whole thing's established in 2010. There's also a little like figure at the top that represents me and an angel always looking over me. You know what I mean? Because I do feel like, again, God is always watching over me. Again, I don't know what I did right and why I'm in his favor, but, you know, I appreciate it so much. And, you know, he's what paves the way. You know, and I know he always has somebody looking out for me and my family, not just me, my family and people around me, my team, you know.
What advice do you have for somebody that's going to face challenges or struggles or setbacks in any venture that they set out for?
It's always a no until it's a yes. As many no's as you hear, there's always going to be one person that says yes or one thing that says yes. You know what I mean? Or come back and they're going to say yes. But other than that, just always stay locked in. If you really want something, there's no reason to why you can't have it. You know, and I am proof of that. Like I've literally came from nothing. I don't know how I got here. I really, even to this day, I look back, I'm like damn. Alex,
you're on the Hector Bravo podcast, bro. You made it.
Yeah,
Not
exactly, 100%. No, but I mean, like, you know, I never thought I would be at a point where people could be like yourself, could be interested in hearing my story. Because, you know, like I'm a kid from Chula Vista, from San Diego, and I grew up with nothing. And my family had nothing. You know, my mom came from nothing, and she worked hard to give me and my brother the best that she could. And, you know, when she did that, elevated my mindset to be able to give my son the best that I could.
Well, that is exactly why I wanted to interview you, bro, because I value hard work, sacrifice, and growth, dude. And like how you were, I'm not a hater, how you were stating earlier that there's haters out there. I actually love to like congratulate people and boost them up, dude. So, hey, thank you, dude, for coming on this podcast. You have any closing words you want to say to the audience, man? I appreciate you giving us your story, dude. Can you give the location?
Yeah.
How they can sign up? The whole nine, dude.
We are in San Diego, specifically East Lake Chula Vista area. Our address, 2390 Boswell Road, Suite 400, Chula Vista, California, 91914. But if you want more information, you can go to our website, www.extremefitnesscv, and it's extreme with an E, so EXTREMEFITNESS for Chula Vista.com, so extremefitnesscv.com. And then social media platforms, if you want to follow our business, Extreme Fitness CV as well. If you want to follow my personal page, Alex Verdugo Jr., they kind of correlate hand to hand. So if you're interested in following any one of those, please do so. And I look forward to seeing you guys in our gym and trying it out.
Thanks, bro. That shit was flawless, man.
Thank you, bro.
There you guys have it, folks. Man, if you guys want to check out literally the best gym in San Diego, hit up Extreme Fitness, man. I told you guys. If you guys like what you saw, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Love you. Keep pushing forward.
Unhinged line, Hector's legend engraved. Living life raw, never been tamed. From the hood to the pen, truth and tales pen. Hector Bravo unhinged, story never ends.